Hello everyone, and welcome to the third meditation in our Loving the World series. Once again, the practice in this video is based on the content from Wednesday's podcast, so you'll probably want to make sure that you've watched, listened to, or read that first. It'll make this meditation much more meaningful for you. The focus of the podcast and meditation this week is on simple living and mindful consumption, because these are significant practical ways to love the world. Once again, later in the practice, we'll be using a finger labyrinth as part of our response to our meditation. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that ready if you're going to participate in that part of the practice. But let's still ourselves. You can deepen your breathing. Just feel grounded in your body and prepare your heart, mind, and body for the meditation ahead. If you were able to have an experience of immersing yourself in the world last week, and if you found something to add to your altar, then mindfully place this new element. Where my wife and I go walking around our neighborhood, and I've got to know the trees and the plovers that dive bomb us when we get too close to their nests, and the little mongoose who appeared for a moment and disappeared into the reeds. There are a lot of pine cones, and every now and then we'll pick a few up to use either as decor or to start a fire. And so I'm using a pine cone to represent being immersed in nature. And now you might want to sit with your altar in its new form for a while. And when you're ready, focus on your groundedness again. Feel your feet on the earth and imagine your roots reaching into the soil. Draw nourishment and strength from the earth up through your body and raise your arms like a tree to let the life flow right to your fingertips and send that life and goodness out into the world, returning nourishment to the earth which nourishes you. Just rest in this flow of energy for a while and allow it to fill and strengthen you. Now turn your mind to the Hebrew practice of Sabbath. Visualize a whole community living with a day of deep rest each week, a year of deep rest every 7 years, and a year of true restoration and rebalancing society every 50 years. Take note of the thoughts and feelings that arise in you as you contemplate the Sabbath culture of the ancient Israelites. And now compare your life and your world to the Sabbath practice. Think back to the last time you really rested. Not just when you took a day off, but when you made time to do what feeds your soul and what enabled you to feel re-energized and refreshed. When have you lived through even a part of a year with a sense of rhythm that was right for you and that felt relaxed and comfortable for you? What would it mean to build at least some of the sense of rhythm into your life? Spend some time in silence reflecting on that. Now, think about the things that fill your life. Begin by taking note of all the things you do that fill your time. Consider what has meaning in your schedule, what activities or events are important and life-giving for you. And then think about the possessions and objects that fill your space. Notice what holds meaning for you, what things are not just things, but symbols that curate important and meaningful stories in your life, that remind you of significant people, or that represent special moments or places. Give thanks for those things and take a moment to cherish them in your heart. And now turn your mind to what has little value for you. Consider what clutter may be in your schedule and what you might want to cut out. Reflect on any objects or possessions that just take up space but don't contribute anything to your life. Imagine letting them go, giving them away, or removing them from your life in some way. Notice how your body responded as you contemplated these things. Notice how you felt emotionally and what thoughts went through your mind. What can you learn from what your body, heart, and mind are saying to you here? And now expand your thinking to consider more generally what simplicity looks like for you. You may want to take a mental tour through a typical week, or do a mental tour of your home, or just check in with your deepest self and notice any way that you feel pressured, cluttered, overly complicated, or overwhelmed. Identify what generates these feelings and impressions in you, and give yourself time to begin deciding what to do with them. Now imagine living a simpler life. Let your mind run free and create a vision of your best, simplest life, one that fits you and feels right for you. Notice what your deepest self brings into this vision and allow it to reveal what you need to live in authentic simplicity for you. And now, as we respond to what has emerged from our meditation, let's return again to the labyrinth ritual. Once again, using your non-dominant hand with your finger labyrinth, trace the path inward as a journey of letting go. Consider anything in your life, tasks, actions, attitudes, possessions, even unhelpful relationships, perhaps, that you could let go of. When you get to the center, pause for as long as you want and open yourself to a sense of simplicity. Don't fall for the temptation of overcomplicating this process of learning to live more simply. Just be and let it emerge for you. And allow where you are right now to become a thin place again. Enjoy being in the pure simplicity of this moment of rest and peace. And then as you trace the path outward again, open yourself to any specific actions you can take to add a little more simplicity to your life. Now, as you prepare to return to your daily routine, make a commitment to simplify some aspect of your life in the next days or weeks. You could do a clean out of your cupboards or a specific room or an area of your life that needs it, or you could organize some area of your life. You could give something away, even if it's just one small thing. Allow this symbolic act to help you feel a heightened sense of simplicity and freedom. And as you do this, find something that can symbolize your quest for simplicity and for mindful consumption, and set that thing aside to add to your altar next week. Simplicity isn't just a way to reduce our consumption and tread more lightly on the earth. It's not just a way to love the world a little more. It's also an act of liberation, healing, and love for ourselves. We need the relief and the sense of restfulness that come with resisting the urge to clutter our lives unnecessarily. That's why the Hebrew practice of the Sabbath was tied not just to taking time off, but to living with mindfulness and simplicity. Thank you for sharing in this meditation. If it's been meaningful for you, please share it with anyone else who might find it meaningful too. And I hope you'll join me again in our next exploration of more ways to love the world intentionally and deeply.